Just Ace Dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Join me, Tina Gorman, each week from 6 to 8 a.m. for Wake Up Wednesday, when my guests and I discuss health, wellness, and lifestyle reimagined.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
809 and a half here on this third day of March in the year 2020 Anno Domini, where we are running around like chickens without our heads off because Bob Plass ran late.
Ooh.
I'm getting a ring off of that television, which I need to mute. And for the record, this is where the table belongs, so we can plug in our laptop. It's always moved when I come in here.
Oh,
So if you think I'm set off now,
Well, no. Part of it is because they use this
use it
studio
for
photography.
photography.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
They use it for photography.
photography.
Yeah.
I like your sparkly jeans.
Yeah, and it looks like I need to fix that shot too.
We'll work
that
on it.
look. We got a commercial. We can do it then.
Yes.
But you think I'm worked up now?
No. Yeah.
This is
I
the
like
den,
him.
Ken's den.
The views expressed by the host during his monologue are those solely of his own, not those of Westfield State University, Westfield Technical Academy, the Music Club of WSKB, our underwriters, JPEG Luca driving down Greylock Street, the current populace of Westfield, and those
All the voters.
just who don't care. And now,
Man, that look is bothering me. You know what, Pete?
how about this? Goodbye, Bob.
That's not any better. I don't have any chroma behind me.
Oh,
I just-
for sakes.
I
We'll
disappear
paint
into
the
the
wall
wall.
over the summer. What's going on, Ken?
You know, I think I brought this up before,
Uh-oh.
but it's worth repeating.
Okay.
Imagine, if you would, you are an employee at a store that has automated checkouts.
Uh-oh.
Imagine you have been there a while. In the beginning, there were many of you.
Mm-hmm.
And there were only 2 or 3 automated checkouts.
Mm-hmm.
And then you turn around and see that there is an equal amount of you as there are automated checkouts. Would you see this happening and think, oh crap, am I next? Should I do my best to ensure that I am pleasant and make sure that I provide customers a positive shopping experience? I don't know about you, but if I was employed in a position like that, I would be kissing everyone's butt and doing anything I could to stand out in comparison to the other clerks.
Okay.
So I experienced the exact opposite last weekend.
Oh, no.
There's a surprise.
At a local market.
I loaded up my yet-to-be-purchased goods up on the belt, in queue, waiting for my turn to be rung up by a human. It was finally my turn. No hello. No, how are you? They just started to ring me up.
Got right to it.
When they were done, they took the receipt and my change and handed them to me. All at once, you know. So now you have to do the two-handed shuffle to keep everything from falling on the floor. Why, oh, why do clerks do this? But that isn't what pissed me off.
No.
No?
I didn't get a thank you. I didn't even get a, there you go.
No, haven't I?
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. And I don't have this written down. You know those automated things? They
Yes.
thank me.
Beep, 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 beep.
A voice comes on and says, thank you for shopping.
It says thank you, yes.
Uh-huh.
Let's look into this for a second, okay?
Okay.
You, as a worker, see fewer and fewer cashiers on the line. Mm-hmm. You look over to your left or right, and you see that these manless machines are doing your job. Mm-hmm. They're doing your job without taking a break, without calling in sick, without needing insurance, and without taking a salary. Mm-hmm. If that was me, I wouldn't be an a-hole to customers for trying to keep you employed by not using an automated checkout system.
Uh-oh.
And I'm talking about you, Mr. Wally World Cashier number 6263.
This is at Wally World.
People like you will be the next to go. I'm pretty sure management there already has an idea that you are a butthead. And I'm seriously contemplating letting them know for sure that you are. I may even contact corporate, yes.
Ooh.
To express
Go
my
to the
concerns as to how one of their associates was a complete and total failure at performing any type of positive interaction with me at all. The automated teller, the automated checkout is warmer and kinder to me than this employee.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my word.
I was still shaking my head as I was walking out to my car. You know, I don't use automated checkouts because I'm not getting paid from a corporation to do the job that they used to pay a person to do. But with dinks like this on the front lines, I just may start using them.
Ooh, that's
And
a step.
that will end up with one more person fighting over the position of chief burger flipper at the Clown. We'll be right back after this.
Oh, my God.
I'll be the roundabout. The words will make you out and out. I spend the day away. Call it morning, driving through the sun and in and out the valley.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies, rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Listen to me, Michael Buster McMahon, Mondays 8 to 10 a.m. to learn the stories behind your favorite songs. Or don't. I'm not the boss of you.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Oh,
Look
no.
at that. I didn't quite nail the camera.
Oh my God! You're having a rough time here, Peter.
My name is Peter.
Yeah, that's
Well,
me,
Peter
Bob.
might be too, but I think we're talking about Ken.
Oh yeah, that's
And
right.
we have to
See,
fix
I'm,
the Ken.
I'm.
Okay, that's
this is
better.
the problem.
You got
I'm,
it.
this is
You got
this
it.
is
You're on.
what's wrong with civilization.
What is
We're-
wrong with
we're perfect
civilization?
now. Look
Tell
at
us.
that.
Tell
I
us,
was
Bob.
doing my phone. I was multitasking. I was doing my phone. And talking
That's
to you.
scary.
This is why.
Bob multitasking. I didn't think
Yeah.
that was possible.
That's all he does is multitask. Squirrel.
Have you ever finished anything?
No.
Okay.
Oh no.
Squirrel.
No. There we are. Okay. There,
All right.
There we.
Are you done?
All right. I'm happy. I'm
Okay.
happy and normal now. Take a look at that.
Wait, you may be happy, but normal?
What's normal?
I have no clue.
And you know, I put markers
Normal's
down
a
on the
word.
floor.
I saw that.
So
I'm
that-
proud of you.
Yeah.
I'm proud
Yeah.
of
We're
you.
never gonna have to deal with that again.
You talk amongst
Wonderful.
yourselves during therapy. I gotta take a break.
All right.
All right. Okay.
There I go.
Wait, what? He's leaving us? There's something new. That happens all the time. Only when Ken needs to cue something up does Peter manage to leave.
Well, that's why I have my laptop here.
you can do it?
So that I don't need him to cue it up. I can cue it up.
All right, here we go again.
And now it's time for therapy with Bob Plass.
Oh, is that a knock on the door?
How many times have we been doing this?
Is that a? Oh, it's the phone.
No, Bob, you have company again.
Oh.
And the coffee's not even on.
Okay.
And you're not even dressed. You're still
Oh my-
wearing
all
your
right,
pajamas.
Okay, all right. So let me put my robe on. Oh, I'll open the door. Hi. Hello. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you?
I'm sorry,
Are you laughing at my robe?
Did I get you whilst you were on the throne?
Yes, Your Majesty, you did. Yes, Your Highness. Yeah, Lowness, whatever it is. Oh no, Your Highness. How are you, Ken?
Your Highness?
Your Highness. That's my Highness.
Mm-hmm. You didn't get one of those Totos yet, did you?
No, not at all. My it's the normal toilet seat.
You don't know what you're
It
missing.
does- I know. Yours talks back to you, doesn't it? Oh no, you're coming in for a good one. At any rate.
Jesus Christ!
I need to take a break here.
I told you, leave the Brussels sprouts alone.
So Ken, do you have anything for me?
Yes,
today?
I do.
What's wrong? Tell me.
I just don't know if I'm even going to bother voting today.
No, really.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
There's a
my
lot-
my vote doesn't count in Massachusetts.
Ah.
All right. Because
you could turn Democrat.
Versus what?
Oh, thank God I came back to hear that.
Yeah.
Versus what, Bob? Tell me. Versus what?
Versus Libertarian. Is there anybody running on the Libertarian? Who is the Libertarian candidate?
There's Republican and Democrat ballots today.
No, there's Libertarian and
Is
Green
there?
too.
Is there one?
Yeah, Libertarian and Green. Yeah.
At least for the presidential primary, yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking. I was thinking about the other one.
Locally, no.
Yeah, the other one that's actually more
State.
important than the presidential primary today, because it doesn't matter in Massachusetts.
I was thinking
All right.
about pulling a Democratic because I'm unenrolled for this election.
Oh! Vote for Bernie. Vote for the Burnster. Feel the burn.
No.
Oh no!
I was actually going to pull a Democrat and give Pete Buttigieg a nod, but on that one.
Oh, thank you, Peter.
Even though he's not suspended his campaign,
Well, okay.
but he's thrown his delegates behind Biden as of last night on Twitter.
We are going to back the Democratic Party is going to back whoever's at the top of the ticket, and that's the exciting part, because I get
And none of them can beat Trump right now.
Oh, my God. Is this making you feel good?
No, because in Massachusetts it still doesn't matter what my vote is, because when it comes to electoral college, those votes are bought and paid for. They're always going to be Democratic. They're bought and paid for. It doesn't matter how many votes are cast in the state of Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Bought and paid for. So your vote in Massachusetts doesn't.
Well,
count.
as a Democrat, though, today we will help to determine who the candidate for the Democrats
You just think you're doing
is
that, Bob.
or are. Well, we would. I mean, because I'm going to vote either I'm going to vote for Bernie or I'm going to vote for Biden. For the most part, I'm not doing the Bloomberg thing because he's buying in, and I'm not happy with his.
You're not going with the
black.
Massachusetts-based candidate. Pocahontas.
Oh, I forgot Elizabeth Warren. I think there's room for her on a cabinet somewhere, and I really hope that she gets on. She'd make a great cabinet person.
So you're thinking it's going to be Bite Me or the Burnster?
Yes, it is.
No, it's Hug Me.
Yes, yeah, it is.
Creepy Uncle Joe.
Stop it.
Actually, he probably has that because it's going to be a centrist election. He has the best shot of winning.
Yeah.
And he's
people are
still
finally starting to realize
clueless. He doesn't have any idea where he is, so he's still not going to beat Trump.
I've heard some of his quotes from the road, and it's embarrassing.
Oh my gosh! The soldier pony. What was that one?
Confusing Ebola with the coronavirus.
Look at it.
Yeah. He was running for the Senate for Georgia or something last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So
he's an interesting character. That's for sure.
Okay.
He gaps way more than Orange does.
Yes, except Orange lies every chance he gets, and I would much
he makes
prefer
it
a
up if he
gaffe.
doesn't
And
know.
if he makes it up in front
makes it up
of
if he doesn't
his
know.
own cabinet yesterday, he said, "Well, the vaccine will be ready. We think in about 3 or 4 months, and it will be ready. It's not going to be ready." And his own, right there at the table, his own czar or whatever the person is, not Mike Pence, the honor in chief. No, but they said it's not going to be ready for a year and a half.
They're testing it now, Bob.
Yes, but
it's not going to be ready.
Testing is they're always testing.
Is not. They're not going.
They're testing cures for cancer, Kenny, but they don't have one.
Yeah.
Just testing doesn't mean it's ready for dispensing.
It's not going
right. But this was the fastest that they came up.
Right.
But
still a year and a half.
CNN says coronavirus already ready for its first test as of 2/25.
2/25.
That was a week ago.
Yes, but the first test
test.
doesn't. The test will last 6 months.
The test doesn't mean that it's an effective vaccine.
Get that.
I get that. I get that, but
error.
I don't think it's a year and a half out. I think we're about half a year to 8 months out.
I think they're going to rush this one into production.
They're going to get rid of any type of fear.
But they have to be very, very sure, of this, because it's
just as sure as they are with approving the drug ranitidine, which now supposedly can give you cancer just for taking care of your GERD.
Yeah, I know. I stopped that long ago.
Right?
Thank God. Yes. Yeah.
Getting
back
this is
to
a therapy
you, my
session
cat.
here, and you're getting me worked up.
Oh, please.
Oh my God! I might have to reduce my fee.
We're going to all need therapy after this.
Yes, I'm going to need therapy.
We already do all need therapy.
Yes. We all need. America needs therapy.
So I think to help things out a little bit.
Yeah, what can I do for you?
And to make you feel better as my therapist for putting up with me.
Yeah, what are you going to
I've
down?
got an idea.
$75. You got an idea?
I've got an idea.
Yeah.
And
Help
I think you might appreciate it.
What is it?
Yeah. Because we know it's not going to make a difference here in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I may, in honor of Robert Plath,
Yeah. Yes.
vote for William Weld.
If you did this, I would be so happy.
I will do that for you.
Will you?
Yes.
Oh my God, I'll pay you. Is that
you can't. That would make it illegal if you paid
that's
me.
illegal.
You can't
I
do that, Bob.
Oh, I can't. Oh,
That's a no-no.
Oh, I can't. All right. All right. But yes, William Weld is a good man. I like William Weld. I do like William Weld. I'm not voting for him, but I do like William Weld.
Because you're not going to pull a Republican
yeah,
ballot.
so-
Kenny, that
don't-
will make a nice statement. I will
Yeah,
love you.
Yeah, and don't pay me for that because you know what'll happen if you pay me that? Pay me to do that?
It will be. I will. The police are going to come.
Yeah. You
Oh.
Election tampering.
you'll be arrested for.
Oh my.
I couldn't help myself on that one.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'm going to vote for William Weld.
Well, you know what? I'm going to give you 50. Oh, no, I can't do that. Leave your $50 on the table and get out of
my
my
make it a
office.
free session today, right?
Oh, I'll make it a free session. That's
All right.
it. I'll make it a free session. Yeah.
Isn't that the same thing?
I'm bribing.
No, there's no graft here.
Wouldn't that be considered graft?
But it's
No.
the intent.
Okay, well, actually, I remember you saying at some point, it was a long, long time ago,
Yeah.
that for every 9 sessions, I get one free.
Ah, there we go.
Oh, that's.
We've got to
true.
be at least
Oh,
by
no.
10.
Buy one,
God.
get one.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't get any better than that.
Yeah.
All right.
Buy 9, get
I
1.
guess I'm not going out to dinner tonight. All right.
You're going to Delaney's Grill.
And you're
Or
not
Delaney's-
you're not going to
I'm
the
going to Delaney.
and you're not going to the pokey tonight either.
Not-
so
not-
I
thank
think you
you.
should consider yourself blessed.
Thank you. Don't let the door slam in your face on the way out, Kent. I'll see you.
And my face, my butt. What's the difference?
No.
All right, Pete.
Get home to your toilet.
Pete, take us away.
Oh, my God.
I found a picture of you. Oh, what hijacked my world at night. To a place in the past we've been cast out of. Oh, now we're back in the fight. We're back on the train. Back on the chain gang. Circumstance beyond our control. Oh, the phone, TV, and the news of the world. Got in the house like a pigeon from hell. Oh, through sand in our eyes and descended like flies. Put us back on the train. Back on the chain gang. Powers that be, they force us to live like we do. Bring me to my knees when I see what they've done to you. But I'll die as I stand here today, knowing that deep in my heart they'll fall to ruin one day for making us part. I found a picture of you. Those were the happiest days of my life. Like a break in the battle was your part. In the wretched life of a lonely heart. Now we're back on the train. Back on the chain gang.
Support for community radio and WSKB provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
Join us the third Wednesday of every month with Selectman Joe Didi and his take on everything Southwick.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
This evening is ruined. Look, wait, what? This evening is ruined. The whole evening is ruined. Why are you saying it like that? Saying what? I'm just pointing out the party's ruined. You know what? I'm not going to get sucked into this.
That sounds like us.
Okay, just so I'm sure. Really? Are you just trying to piss me off, or is that really how you say that? What are you talking about? I'm talking about this ruined evening. That's not how you say ruined. What? Ruined? What do you call the remains of ancient Greek structures? Ruins. And how would you describe this evening? Well, ruined, of course. This evening is ruined. Say ruined. 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 Dumbass. Oh, Brian, don't be cruel.
Okay.
I love that.
Hey.
I love it.
Hey, we're starting to do things around here. We have a crew departing to go shoot a
8:37 on the nose.
What do they do?
Southwick Senior Center. The students, culinary students, are doing a demonstration, and they're going over to film it.
Ah, terrific! Nice. What a
tell them to clean their paws before they start handling the camera.
Okay.
Yeah, don't get grease and oil and cookie dough all over it.
No, the culinary students aren't shooting. Our students are shooting. The culinary students.
Our students are going to be sampling. You can guarantee that.
Okay.
So keep your hands clean for the equipment.
They have a cannon.
Still.
Right.
How often do you wash your hands
equipment.
on a day? How
I wash my hands every time I come in the house. Whenever I go out anywhere, to a store, to the library,
Really?
Yes, I wash my hands.
Do you
It's the first thing I do when I walk in the house.
When you go into, let's say, the Big Y or the Stop and Shop, do you take the Purell and
No,
wipe
I
the
do
handle
not.
of your
I do
basket? Yeah, I've been doing that lately.
Good. Yeah. You continue doing that.
That's a little bit too much for me.
Is it too much?
Yeah.
You have to have some exposure to germs.
Yeah.
I know it. I don't want to.
Just don't rub your eyes or pick your nose when you're in the supermarket handling a buggy.
Because you know what?
Right, Pete?
Yeah. You have to have basic precautions.
You're wiping that down, and that's fine, but you're also touching the money they give you back.
That's true.
Who knows where that's come
Also,
from.
the cans that I've
you're
been
handling anything on the
all the
counter.
produce
So
that you're looking for bruises.
you can't really guarantee that there isn't going to be some physical.
He'd be a helicopter dad.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
What is that?
You think so?
Fly
I
in,
have-
fly out?
Yeah.
What is
No,
that?
a helicopter parent is a parent who's always around whatever their child does.
Hovering.
You know, if they're going to school, you have to go in and stand by the door to make sure the teacher's doing the right thing. If they're going to practice on the soccer field, you have to watch the practice to make sure they're treated fairly. And you interfere with every single little thing that happens in their life. You know, if they get something wrong on a
stage
test,
mom
you
or
go
something,
back in,
like
sort
a-
of, yes,
yeah,
you
like
go
a
into the
stage-
teacher and say, I want to know why this is wrong.
Uh-huh.
That's a helicopter parent.
I see.
So
And it's become very prevalent lately. We're very
Kids aren't
empowered
being
now.
allowed to grow up. Is
I
the
don't know
problem.
if it's just kids, though, Pete. I think we've become a society that's very empowered with everything. You know, if there's something wrong with your bill, you walk into City Hall. If there's a price not right, you walk in and complain about it. If the cashier doesn't say
Wow,
hello,
nice
If the cashier doesn't
Yeah.
say
Yep.
hello.
but we are.
And she learned from the
and
best.
there's good things and there's bad things about it. We're very involved, and we don't take things laying down anymore.
I think
and that's a
there's-
good thing.
There's something about parents who overprotect their kids so much that they don't allow them to grow up and become adults. And therefore,
my-
you have
my
kids in your
thought-
basement until they're 40 years old.
Is we all have to take some hard knocks, and life isn't always fair.
Absolutely.
And yes, I may get stopped for speeding when somebody else doesn't, but I can't whine. It happens, and it's the way life is. And you're right, Peter. We can't cosset our children and put cotton around them and prevent anything from happening.
I ran into that with a minority, and it's definitely a minority, of kids in college. And the two colleges I deal with, you know who the parents are, because the kid won't call in for something the parent.
The parents too. Yeah.
I'm like, first of all, first question is, how old is your child? And if it's over 18, I say, that's great that you're very concerned about it, but please have your child call me.
Oh, that's good. Oh, you go right. That's very good.
And I take them out of the equation because
Yeah.
in this state,
I am a parent of adult children, and I just had this conversation with someone the other day. I love my kids, and I would support them no matter what, because that is what a parent should do. However, one of the most difficult things as a parent today is learning to say, not my problem.
Yep.
It's yours.
Yep.
And that's really hard.
Not
It's a
my
hard
circus,
lesson.
not my monkeys.
Yeah, it's a hard lesson for a parent to learn, because we automatically, as moms or dads, want to jump in and solve it. If they have money issues, we want to help them. If they can't keep their house clean, we want to do it. We want to paint their apartment, and we want to buy them new sheets. And you have to stand back and say, sorry.
Kathy, that was the hardest thing with my kid in sports.
Yeah, it is. It's
Because I was around it all the time.
Yep.
And I saw it, and I just went, if you want to talk about it later, that's fine. If you don't get satisfaction trying to run it up the flagpole, that's when I step in. If you can't solve it on your own, or you think you've been shafted, that's where the parent comes in to back you up. But I'm not going to fight that battle for you. If you don't want to fight it, that's your choice.
Kathy's going to need a disclaimer, but next time she opens up her trap, because that was a rant.
But you know what? She's right, and that's what a lot of
It's
people.
Yeah, she is.
hard.
She is right.
It's hard. And my kids are almost 40. No, you didn't hear that, because my daughters will both shoot me.
40 years old.
I know. I know. I had them when I was 10.
And they still have a vocabulary slightly different than us. And you know how sometimes we try to teach Bob what some of the new
jargon is.
Jargon is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And several years ago, we told him what Netflix and chill is, and he forgot. And it came up again like 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
I see what you're doing. I know what you're doing. Bob doesn't, but I know Ken.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So Netflix and chill meant getting high and having sex. All right, that's what Netflix and chill means.
Oh, God.
All right.
And of course, the Cheech and Chong of ice cream.
Yes. So now the Cheech and Chong, Ben and Jerry's. Let's go up
ice cream
right here.
Oh, here. Okay, gotcha.
Ben and Jerry's now has a new flavor: Netflixed and chilled.
Oh, you got to be kidding
They
me.
literally the Cheech and Chong of ice cream.
Listen to
It's
this.
peanut butter.
All right.
Listen to this. Peanut butter ice cream with sweet and salty pretzel swirls and fudge brownie. This sounds terrific.
Sounds like getting what you want when you got baked.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they should make a Dorito ice cream then.
Chilled.
I love Doritos.
You'll notice they even have a logo of it. They're the three cows watching television.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the look at this: the pretzel, the peanut butter, the brownie, and the scoop of ice cream seem to be doing something over to the left while the cows are watching Netflix.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, in other words, wait a minute. Does somebody else have to be in the room while this is happening, and they're watching Netflix while something else is happening over on the side? Is that what that is?
Well, you know,
Bob, what are you talking about?
You know what, Bob, it could, I guess, be like anything else. If you want it done right, you have to do it yourself, right?
Okay, moving along. How is this happening? Tell us.
So it's just another special flavor from Ben & Jerry's. Liz Ramon did a write-up on it last week. And this got 4 stars.
Ooh.
All right.
It sounds like a good combination, actually.
It does sound great.
Now, Bob,
you put peanut butter in anything.
A serving of this ice cream comes in at 390 calories and 24 grams of fat and 290 milligrams of salt and 20 grams of sugar.
It's ice cream.
20 grams of sugar? How much is the calories?
It's ice cream.
Calories is 390.
And that's in a cup?
For a serving, yeah.
There's probably 2 servings.
And you know what?
container.
Would that be a scoop? Is a scoop a serving? How does that
There's
work?
probably
half a pint.
There's probably 3 or 4 servings in that container.
I would eat that whole container of that. I used to go home at night. Did you ever do this? Haagen-Dazs, when Haagen-Dazs first came out.
Haagen-Dazs is high butter fat, higher than probably.
Oh
Ben
my
and
God!
Jerry's.
I would go and I would take it and I would eat it at home, and that would be my treat. And it's a wonder that I wasn't 700 pounds back then.
Do you eat ice cream?
I have 4 containers of Friendlies in my room.
Oh, no,
my freezer
you
right
don't.
now. Yes, I do.
What's your favorite flavor?
Watermelon sherbet.
Really?
Watermelon sherbet.
And then I've been liking a dual Dunkster one, actually by Turkey Hill lately. It's a mocha thing with brownies and stuff like that. It's really good.
I bet that's tasty too.
Very, very nice.
So, see, you talked about food earlier, so I had an opportunity to talk about food before I kick you out to go watch Regis and Kathy
Oh, I
Lee.
have to. But first, you know what I'm doing?
I
I'm
mean,
going.
plain
I better
Jane
leave
vanilla.
early because I want to vote. And today, James Taylor is on Regis and Kathy Lee, and he's got a new album out called American Standard. He plays and sings all these old songs that you and I know, Kath. And
All
maybe
his old songs or just old songs?
No, there are songs like My Blue Heaven, Surrey with the Fringe on Top.
Oh, that kind of
all
song.
The Nearness of You, Teach Me Tonight, all these great songs. I can't wait to get the CD to listen to all of them. But
I saw James Taylor with Dennis Akins.
Really? Was
Yes.
Dennis performing with him?
No, no, Bob.
Oh, you went. It was
She
a date.
attended,
It was a
Bob.
date.
Yes, we went up to.
Where, Tanglewood?
Yeah. Oh, Bob.
At any rate, I'm out of here. All right. Bye. Love you guys. See ya. Get out there and volunteer and vote today. Super vote. Thank you, Ken, for voting for William Weld. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Robert.
All right. Bye.
Bye, honey.
Well, we're living here in Allentown, and they're closing all the factories down. Out in Bethlehem, they're killing time, filling half or
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Listen to me, Michael Buster McMahon, Mondays 8 to 10 a.m. to learn the stories behind your favorite songs. Or don't. I'm not the boss of you.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Hey, what do you say we sing a driving song?
Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed. When the night has been too lonely and the road has been too long, and you think that love is only for the lucky and the strong, just remember in the winter, far beneath the bitter snows, lies the seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes the rose.
You know, it's amazing that he can hold the tune in that voice. Seriously.
Okay, that was good. That was good. Chris, I think you were a little early at the start of bar 4. I don't know, how'd that sound from your end?
Sounded great out here. You want another?
No, if that works for you, we're fine.
All good on my end.
All right, that's a take.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
854 on the nose.
Squeeze that one in.
I almost didn't, thanks to you.
Yeah.
I knew it'd fit.
Yeah, we got to make it fit.
I don't think I've used that one before.
No, you have
no,
not.
you haven't.
You have not.
That is not a driving song.
Yeah, that's what it's called, too.
What is that?
It's called Driving Song.
Yeah, that's not a driving song.
Well,
that
yeah,
make you want to drive into a bridge abutment.
Well, you don't listen to it when you drive. You sing it when you drive. Wouldn't that make a great song for like a chorus to sing? Maybe
it would.
Yes,
it's a chorus.
That'd be a great chorus
because
song.
it's a ballad.
Yeah,
you know, it's like that Hallelujah song. It's just every chorus in the world wants to do that number.
Yeah, so we have a great chorus here in town. Actually,
we do.
At the Westfield High School, there's actually several choruses. At the Westfield High School, there's the band chorus, the show choir. So, and they're all directed and headed up by Corey DeGray Bruno.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of going to watch the Burnster in Springfield yesterday and get stuck in a 6-mile parking jam,
you didn't practice for your breadline?
No, I ended up filming their midwinter cabaret choir concert Friday night, and JP was there with his lights and sound, and it was a real good production. And I brought in a clip. Now this clip, it's actually Hannah Bruno.
I know who Hannah is.
Which she is Corey's granddaughter, and not Corey DeGray Bruno, up.
I know.
She is,
I know.
I'm trying to explain this now. She's Knightsman royalty, if you want to call it. Direct descendant from Corey and the Knightsman, Corey de Grey. And Hannah is the daughter of Corey de Grey Bruno, and she inherited her pipes from her grandfather. And then with the schooling that Corey de Grey Bruno has,
teaching, yeah.
She went really far with the vocals, and it's just incredible what they did this past Friday night. So I brought a clip over for us to all check out. Pete?
Excellent.
I'm not getting any audio.
And
There we
let's
go.
face it, who isn't? Less fortunate than I, my tender heart tends to start to bleed. And when someone needs a makeover, I simply have to take over. I know exactly what you need. And even in your case, though it's the toughest case I've yet to face, don't worry, I'm determined to succeed. Follow my lead, and yes, indeed, you will be popular. You're gonna be popular. I'll teach you the proper poise when you talk to boys. Little ways to flirt and floss. Oh, I'll show you what shoes to wear, how to fix your hair. Everything that really counts to be popular. I'll help you be popular. You'll hang with the right cohorts. You'll be good at sports. Know the slang you've got to know. So let's start, 'cause you've got an awfully long way to go. Don't be offended by my frank analysis. Think of it as personality dialysis. Now that I've chosen to become a palaces or an advisor, there's nobody wiser. Not when it comes to popular. I know about popular. It's not about aptitude. It's the way you're viewed. So it's very shrewd to be very, very popular like me. La 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 la. We're gonna make you popular. When I see depressing creatures with unpossessing features, I remind them on their own behalf to think of celebrating heads of state or especially great communicators. Did they have brains or knowledge? Don't make me laugh. Hey, they were popular. Please, it's all about popular. Very, very popular, like me. Why, Miss Bruno, look at you. You're beautiful. You're welcome. And though you protest your disinterest, I know clandestinely you're gonna grin and bear it in newfound popularity. Ah! La 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 la, you'll be popular, just not quite as popular as me.
Burn down the store, take what you want and more. Shop until you drop, voodoo consumer never stop. Load up on supplies, no sale, no compromise. Gun crazy down the mall, voodoo consumer take it all. Eat this, drink this, try this, charge it, it's fabulous. Step up and take it. It's fabulous. If you can't afford it, fake it. Be deviously dangerous, ridiculously cool. Let's make it fabulous. 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 Drive me to the bank. Kneel down and give me thanks. Grab your credit card, voodoo consumer, kiss me hard. Eat this, drink this, drive this, charge it, it's fabulous. Step right up and take it, it's fabulous. If you can't afford it, fake it. Be deviously dangerous, ridiculously cool. Let's make it fabulous. Too late, voodoo consumer terminus. Eat this, drink this, try this, buy this, wear this, fly this, play this, charge it, it's fabulous. Step right up and take it, it's fabulous. If you can't afford it, fake it. Be deviously dangerous, ridiculously marvelous, meticulously treacherous, disarduously cruel. Just make it fabulous. 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 Fabulous.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley. With convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org.
Hi, this is Harry Rock, host of Rock on Westfield every fourth Wednesday at 8 a.m. Tune in for my view of this place I call home.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
9:04 3/4, Kathy.
Oh, I missed the 3/4. I was asking.
You almost missed everything because you were talking when
Well,
that
I know, but we were
opened
talking
up.
about something important. I was asking him about the Boy Scouts, and he does have something important to tell us. So do you want to
Well, when you say him,
I'm sorry. Good morning.
Good morning.
Go for it. You want me to?
You've already taken over
I've
this hour.
tried to take. Well, I just don't want to be Bob.
Who picked
That's
that
all.
music on the way in?
That top of the hour.
Yeah.
That's something I picked out. Yeah, that's called "Fabulous" by Happy Head.
Oh, that's not what I was thinking about. I was thinking about the Rose.
Oh, the Rose. Yeah.
I like the other version better.
Yeah, I did that. You can blame most of the things that happen
All
on
right,
the den. You
so
can blame
who are
on
you
me.
talking to, Ken?
Kathy.
All right. Good morning, everybody. WSKB this morning, and we are proud once again to have one of our favorite guests back in again, Dave Flaherty from the Westfield City Council, and we are happy to see you
Great,
again,
thank
Dave.
you.
Good
Happy
morning.
to be here.
Hi, Dave.
Hey.
She isn't saying that because we're kissing
I love
up.
having you up. No, I do.
You're easy to talk to behind the microphone, and
when he said you were coming in, I was excited about it. I said, I really like having Dave on. He always has something good to tell the citizens.
Ouch!
You're cranked up then, huh?
My headphones are cranked up really high.
So before we get talking about Westfield, and I know that Ken has questions, and so do I, and I know you have things, you are deeply involved, and I don't know if a lot of people out there know this, Ken, but he does so much for the city with the Boy Scouts, who are still alive and well and very viable. And I know they do a lot for us at the Women's Club and other groups. So tell me what's happening with them now.
All kinds of good stuff. The stuff that's happening at National doesn't affect the local groups. It is an effort by National to finalize claims and be able to move forward for the next 100 years in scouting. So the bankruptcy thing, it's getting a lot of attention, and certainly the Boy Scouts have been getting a lot of attention for the last 10 years by all kinds of different groups. But the goal is to put this bad history behind them and move forward. It's very much like what happened in the church. There's a very tiny percentage of small, bad people that were in scouting years ago, and they did things that weren't appropriate. And Boy Scout National is unfortunately getting sued over and over and over again. These lawyers will just not give up. They have advertising. They're putting websites out there to get people to come in and sue. Stuff that happened 30, 40 years ago. There's no witnesses. There's no way to prove or disprove things. So what they're doing is just pushing these things to embarrass, people and groups. There's very valid claims out there too, but a lot of it can't be proven or disproven.
Are there any lawsuits out involving letting girls into the Boy Scouts?
Nope, but that's another one. And, it's a headline that made a lot of attention, but it hasn't changed scouting for, much locally. There are some girl troops starting up. For me, as a Boy Scout leader, I think it's going to create challenges at the teenage level, for certain things we do. Right now, there's separate groups. There's
camping and outings. And things like
but
that.
there's a girls troop and a boys troop at teenage level, so they are separate. But at things like summer camp and jamborees, everybody's commingled. So that creates different challenges. For me, I've done a lot of these high adventure things out into national parks and stuff. I just can't imagine having co-ed groups out there, at that age level. It would change the dynamics of the whole thing. It's not good or bad. It would just change it so much that it would be a different experience for the boy, kids. And then the same thing with the gay leader issue, and the Mormon Church pulling out. There's been a lot of bad press. So I'm hoping that this will finalize and let us clean up things, move forward. And it's a great program for kids and for families to be involved in. So I really hope it moves forward.
Hey, Pete, do you have something regarding the Scouts?
But locally, you have something coming up this weekend.
Right.
Oh, imagine that.
Yes.
Oh, look at this, Dave.
Yes, we want to hear about
I brought props. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, that's even better than my prop. Yeah,
that's the one you sent me.
Yeah, that's the one that's on the
Channel 12.
And we'll show this at the very end of the show, too.
Oh, good.
It's running on Channel 12 all the time.
Channel 12. I watched that the other day for a few seconds. The ads are very long, by the way, Pete. They seem like 30 seconds or a minute.
Yeah,
not everyone can read as fast as you and I do.
Tell us what it is, because if people aren't watching the TV, they don't know what we're looking at.
Yeah, but you can only get so many ads per 10 minutes.
Actually, I think the cycle's about 6 minutes right now.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So, the big bottle and can drive is this weekend out in front of Super Phipps. You can see where it is across from Home Depot, right next to that Phipps sign. This picture is a couple of years old. We'll have some tents up and giant trucks there, and we now put hurricane fencing around it so the cans don't blow all over the place. And
I have 3 big bags ready to go for you.
Perfect.
Wow.
We have driving lanes that are on the inside, so as you come into that parking lot, near Phipps, you'll be turning right, and you'll see cones set up so you can drive right through, drop them off, and then the kids will dump them in piles like that, and then they'll sort them all. And we're in the neighborhood of 60,000 cans now, so that's a lot of cans to process in a few hours. It's 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock in front of Super Phipps.
Do we dare say anything about Connecticut bottled water? Connecticut water bottles?
Yeah, we for everybody who bought their water in Connecticut and paid the 5 cents, we're taking all those bottles down to Connecticut and processing them. Actually, everything gets loaded in trucks and taken to Connecticut.
Right.
We've overwhelmed the local can sorting companies, so we have to rent these 2 giant trucks, and the place in Connecticut is the place that will take them.
And you can actually look at a water bottle now, and it'll say 5-cent deposit on it.
Right. Yeah. The water bottles will, and anything that says, so beer, wine, soda, sports drinks, some of them.
I didn't even think about the beer.
Oh,
I'm thinking soda pop and.
Oh no, beer is crazy, and it's heavy, so that's why we have the second truck. The beer has to be packed in a certain way, and everything gets packed in a certain way. But the beer is kind of a pain. It's heavy, so that it takes a long time to load the trucks. The other things they can just whip up. It's a bag; they can just throw it. But
I remember doing that with my uncle when I was a kid. My uncle used to go around. He worked for a liquor distributor. And we'd go around working for him in the summers, going around to pick up the empties that his distributorship put out there. And the 10-case bags are easy to toss.
Oh, yeah.
But stacking beer, glass beer bottles, it's 7 stack. It's 9 stack, 7 high, 63 cases per pallet.
Yes.
I still remember that to this day, and I was like,
and you can't break any of these. They have to remain intact until you bring them over to the.
Yes.
Right.
Oh yeah, we do exactly what Pete just said. So we pack them up by 12s and 24s, and then when we take them off the truck, we have to palletize them, and they put plastic wrap around them. But the cans, it's pretty easy. It's in a clear trash bag. We just count and put the right number in each bag, and then when we get to the recycling center, we just take all the bags of 200 and start throwing them out. And somebody sits there and counts them all. So
Wow.
Yeah, it's $2.40 per bag.
Holy smokes. Now, do you only do this one?
It's amazing some of the stuff that Pete out there knows.
It used to be. I don't know.
Back when cans a bag at 20 cents.
Okay.
Per dollar. Or 20 per dollar.
Well, when we used to get them back, it was $2.40 because they do 12 cases.
Yeah. Yeah. So it depends on how many are in the bags. But we sort them by how many are in there. So when we start unloading, somebody just has to have a clicker and says, okay, we offloaded 87 bags.
All right.
So it's a big deal.
And we'll mention that again, as I mentioned, right at the end of the show, in case somebody wants to take some notes down regarding that. I have 9:13 in the morning. This is a good time to break away for a bit, and when we come back, we'll talk about some issues going on in this fair city of Westfield.
Community radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies, rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Live from Studio.
Hi, it's Bob Plass, and I have Wow, It's Tuesday, every Tuesday, 6 to 8. Wow, it's Tuesday.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
I did it!
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
9:17 3/4. I did it!
You did it!
That's so classic, Bob.
That is going to stick.
Oh yeah, I have the edit of that, and I'm never taking that out because that's just classic Bob Plass.
Yeah, we are here with Dave Flaherty. Now, you kind of made news a few weeks back, and I wish I could have had you on a little earlier for this, but it's still newer news. There was an issue with the open meeting law. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure.
Okay.
So as you know, around Valentine's Day, I got a letter from the state saying they agreed 100% that the Finance Committees violated the open meeting law during the last budget cycle.
Mm-hmm. Now, how did they violate that law?
So they did two ways. The first one is easy to explain, is inadequate minutes. The minutes are supposed to be so detailed that a person who didn't attend the meeting can read those minutes and understand what went on, get a basic understanding of what happened. So, what the people talked about, what kind of questions and answers there were. Not specific. It's not an exact recording of what was said, but just the general topics and the answers.
Mm-hmm.
So that just hasn't happened, and it hasn't happened for a long time in the city council. There are some councilors who are very, very good at doing the minutes. Others that aren't. The same with other committees. There's great range in the minutes, and these minutes were pretty much very weak. It said, fire chief was here, took questions from councilors, answered questions. Next. next department. So the really, really weak. The person who was reading that couldn't understand anything about the budget or anything. So that's the easy one. The harder one is that there was an argument going on in council for a long time, several years, but more particularly when Councilor Figge was the president and Councilor Bean was chair of finance. They wanted everything discussed in subcommittees, not on the council floor. And over and over and over again, they said, well, we're going to hash this out in subcommittee. If you, Mr. Council, who's not on the committee, has something to say about this matter, you have to go before the subcommittee, hash it out there, and then it'll come back to the full council. And that's just not the way the law is written, and it's not the way our council is set up. We have subcommittees, and the job of those subcommittees is to get tasks that are delegated to their special area. Those members on the subcommittee are supposed to do the research and deliberate and come back to the full council with a recommendation, and then the rest of the councilors will weigh in on the matter. You can't go to a subcommittee with a quorum of the full city council and deliberate, and that's what happened here at the finance meetings.
Okay.
We asked about that ahead of time, by the way. So there was all this discussion prior to the budget and all this push to do things in subcommittee. So the council voted to send to the law department a question asking what the procedure is. Law department wrote us a letter and explained it just as I have, that a subcommittee is designed to handle it by those three people, not the rest of the council. If the rest of the council shows up, they're supposed to be treated just like an audience member. And they're not supposed to deliberate at all when there's a quorum of the full city council, because that violates the open meeting law. A quorum of our council, by the way, is more than seven or more, because there's 13 councilors. So if 7 of them are in the room, you're not supposed to deliberate. And deliberate doesn't mean have an open discussion back and forth that expresses opinion. It's just any kind of conversation about a topic. So the law department wrote this letter, gave the council that opinion, and said maybe there's a chance that legally you could have a counselor in the audience ask a question through the chair, but it was kind of had wiggle words after it, like this is my opinion, but others may disagree kind of thing. That was what was in the letter from law. And it turns out after I filed the complaint with the state and gave them everything, and I gave them recordings of the meeting and the minutes and all that, the state agreed after 6 months, with me, that a complete violation of open meeting law, that the committee is, the committee meetings are for committee members only. If there's public speak on the agenda, any counselor in the audience can speak, just like the members of the public. But if there's a quorum in the room, they shouldn't even do that, because that's violating open meeting.
Were there any ramifications once this decision came down?
No, in this case, I specifically said I didn't want any ramifications other than to clarify the laws and the policies. I did ask them for several things which they didn't do. Not the state. The state gave me what I asked for. They said this was a violation, but I asked the city council and the law department to create an internal document that explained these policies and procedures and made it very clear what all the rules and roles are. So far, they haven't done that. I've also asked, and other councils have asked over time, to have members of the city clerk's department do all the minutes for all of the meetings. Right now, they only do it for a few meetings.
Right.
And some other committees have special people that are employees that do the minutes. And when you have that, if you have the same person doing the minutes over and over again, you have consistency in the minutes, and you have somebody with a supervisory structure that can say, yeah, those minutes comply with the law and these minutes don't. The way it is right now, it's kind of a free-for-all. There's no obligation of a city council to take minutes. However, there is a legal obligation of the council as a body to produce minutes.
Can I have a question? Is that going to add more? Is that going to have to add more personnel to the clerk's office?
That's exactly what I wrote down as a follow-up question.
Okay, so that's a big problem. I don't think it should. I think this should be contracted out. I think the city clerk should be able to hire part-time employees just like they do on election day and pay $15 an hour for somebody to take the minutes. The cost of not doing it the right way is $1,000 per violation. So when you weigh what the cost is to produce the minutes, which may be $80 or $100 compared to the cost of violation at $1,000, there's good reason to do that. It also provides better services to the taxpayers so they can look at these minutes. There are many cases now where people call us on the phone and say, what happened over here at this, finance meeting or personnel action committee meeting, and we go look at the minutes and you can't tell what happened. Cindy Harris, by the way, is one of the most excellent minute takers ever. So her committee has very, very good minutes, but other committees are, vary.
Right. You mentioned about having 7 or more counselors in as it being a quorum. Now you're at a subcommittee meeting. and there's three of you sitting on the subcommittee, and now all of a sudden there's a hot topic going on. There's 6 counselors showing up to watch this. How careful do you have to be so that it doesn't end up becoming a quorum because you are all now still in that room?
It doesn't matter if they're in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
They can't participate in the deliberation.
Okay.
So it's the 3 counselors that are on the committee.
Mm-hmm.
And then another counselor, by the way, might come and sit before that committee because they're a proponent of something,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like say, Kathy wants to make a street a private way versus a public way versus a private way.
And that's
right?
coming up in a little bit.
Coming up. So she calls up Councilor Figge, and Councilor Figge needs to go and talk to the right committee about that. He is certainly entitled to come and represent his position in front of that committee. He's the one that made the motion. He can come and talk to that committee. So now you have him and 3 people on the committee. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
The people in the audience can't participate in the deliberation. But an advocate
They
for
can
a position,
participate during an open public comment?
as long as there's not a quorum. So if there's more than 7 in total,
Mm-hmm.
they're
And
not-
even though there's public participation, they can't participate.
right, because of the quorum rule.
Okay.
Yep. Now, there's a lot of ways to communicate without actually going to a meeting, too, right? So, for example...
Yeah, but this is very, very important here because
No, there's an
you
argument
would
this
think
week.
that during public participation anyone can speak, but
No, councils are limited to that.
Yeah.
And we're limited, by the way, the state people that made these laws, the
Mhm.
reps and senators, they don't have to follow this. They made it for us,
Mhm.
But anybody can go talk to a, senator or rep. They can get together and have parties and talk about issues without open meeting law violations.
Mhm.
This only applies to us out here. And it only applies to elected people.
so during a public participation at a subcommittee, if the counselors at that point leave the room for public participation, then there would not be a quorum issue.
I guess if it's not 7 people in the room.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, you show up and all of a sudden, oh, darn it, there's a quorum. How do you deal with it at that point in time?
Well, the best way to deal with it is not to
show up?
Right.
All right.
If you have questions of that committee or you want to express an opinion to the committee,
Mhm.
before the meeting, we're all allowed to send them emails.
There were several counselors that attended every single subcommittee meeting. And I'm seeing where mostly.
Yes.
And I can just see that becoming an issue and
It's
and
rare.
being-
It's
okay.
extremely rare.
All
Councilor
right.
Councilor Harris attends a lot of meetings, and
Mhm.
but she's a rare one. There's 13 of us, and she's at almost every committee meeting that I've ever been to.
Okay.
So she's really, really good about it. For me, I go to the ones that I'm interested in or I have a particular concern with. If it's something that, constituents had asked me to do, I certainly follow all the finance ones. I don't go to the finance ones because I won't shut up, and I know that. So I watch it, and I feel bad. When I was on finance committee, nobody listened to us on city council. We made recommendations.
You were Mr. Finance, too.
Right, and I've told them that. I would do it again, but I'm not going to waste my time if nobody's going to vote on a thing. If the finance committee comes back with recommendations and the rest of the council say no, why should we waste our time? So I spend my time researching independently, and then I make, and take actions, pretty much independently. I did happen to watch a lot of the finance committee meetings, but I did it over the internet. I didn't have to go sit in that room because I knew sitting in the room, we had a legal document that says you can't ask questions, you can't participate in deliberations. Yet they did it anyhow. So that's why I filed the complaint. And then some councils, they do say, well, Flaherty, you never attended any of the meetings. Well, I watched a lot of the meetings, and I've done this for 12 years or 11 years now.
Yeah,
I kind of know what goes
a day
on.
or two later, you get on Vimeo, and there it is.
No, these were all streamed Facebook Live, too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah, those, yes.
So, so this week, the topic is going to be, well, who can go before a subcommittee and talk? So Councilor Figge has to be in a position to ask for the raises for the school committee. He's kind of afraid to go in front of a committee because they don't understand the law.
There was something in the paper a week or two regarding that, and they didn't want to say anything because they were worried about it being a...
Yeah. Well, this law isn't new. We all have to take a thing and sign a thing that says we took it.
Yeah.
And there's open meeting law website. There's hundreds and hundreds of rulings. It's pretty clear to me. I don't know how it cannot be clear to other people, but that's just the way it is.
So no issue with him being able to go in there to present.
No,
this.
he's an advocate for it.
Yeah.
He can go in there. He should be on the agenda, by the way. If it says discussing school committee raises as proposed by Mr. Figge, Mr. Figge will be the speaker. That's perfectly fine. It's just those people in the audience. Their job is to sit there and listen.
And an agenda has to be enough. Is it 48 hours ahead?
48 hours ahead.
And that's always posted to the city website.
City
too.
website and on the bulletin board in City Hall. Yep.
Yeah, city website being cityofwestfield.org.
Right.
Cityofwestfield.org. You find all the contacts for your city councilors and all the postings for the city council agenda and the subcommittee agenda.
Oh, and if you want to, you can sign up for notifications when an agenda gets posted. Because that's how I keep up on what meetings we have to cover and things like that. Yep. Is I sign up for notifications when an agenda gets posted. It text messages me, it emails me, and then I can read the agenda right off the message. So if you're really interested in city government, you can get notified when every single meeting, I don't care what board or committee it is, you can get notified of any board or committees when they post an agenda and when they have a meeting scheduled. So there's no way not to know. There's no way to say, I didn't know when the meeting was, because you can sign up for that and it automatically notifies you when that happens.
I subscribe to those emails as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. 9:30 and a 3/4, Kathy. Yeah, we seem to be hitting the 3/4. Let's do a quick break so we can get right back with Councilor Dave Flaherty.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Comcast and Xfinity.com. Offering Xfinity TV, Internet, home phone, and home security services. Information on all that Xfinity has to offer in the Westfield area is available online at Xfinity.com.
Join me, Tina Gorman, each week from 6 to 8 a.m. for Wake Up Wednesday, when my guests and I discuss health, wellness, and lifestyle reimagined.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Okay, welcome back, WSKB, and we have in the studio this morning Dave Flaherty from the City Council. And as Dave said, boy, the time is just flipping by, so we're going to try to move it along. Something that's been in the news, Dave, lately is the private roads, accepting private roads and public roads, and I think it's the Devon Manor neighborhood now that's up for what exactly is a private road in Westfield?
One that's not accepted as a public road.
Yes, I get it. But how is it? Is it the builder that puts it in? Is it the construction company?
Yeah, from what I understand, for new developments, that's part of the site plan that gets approved. Is they put roads in that meet the specifications, the current specifications, and at the end of the project, there's a process to get those streets made into public ways. And sometimes it takes a while. It's not automatic. There's people in engineering that have to review things. There's people in the law department.
Sometimes it's not even done.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a checklist thing that never gets done. So it's a tedious process. There's also a problem with older roads. So like Devon Manor in my neighborhood up in Scarfo Heights, they're fairly new. They comply with all the right rules and design, because they had this stuff reviewed before they built them. Other places have roads that go back to horse and buggy days.
I bet they do. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were just maybe graded and had some blacktop thrown over them at one time or another. So in order to take those on as a public road, they have to meet certain requirements.
Millions of dollars worth of repair before they can do that.
Yeah,
right?
And some of them are in neighborhoods where they specifically were told that there was always going to be a private way. Like there's one down behind Stanley Park, behind the mill. The developer of that place said they would never ask for them to be public ways, but now the people that live there expect them to be public
Ah,
ways. They're
I know
paying
what
a
you
lot of
mean.
money for houses, and they're paying the same tax as everybody else. They want their roads fixed, and they want, more importantly, their water and sewer to work right. The sewer is the big problem. But yeah, it's a big problem. It's very expensive to maintain roads. The state is not giving us much money, as they should. The costs have risen, significantly per foot of roadway, and the state hasn't increased the amount of money, even though we're paying more and more in taxes. We don't set aside enough money in Westfield for roads. I don't know if you saw the meeting back in I guess it was in the spring, but we hired an outside company to go around. $75 million worth of road work is needed to just be adequate position. We spend
$5 million a year minimum.
$5 million a year for 15 years. That would help improve things. At $2 million, and a little over $2 million, which is what we're spending now.
Barely maintaining, right?
Not maintaining.
Not
losing.
maintaining.
Yeah.
So
we need the budget.
We have a ton of roadway miles in this city. Like
Right.
we're like one of the top 4 or 5 in the state.
I don't know.
140 something miles.
Yeah, we have a lot.
Yeah, it's
but
a ton.
we also proportionally get that money from the state. In the Chapter 90 is based on how much mileage in the road you had, plus a couple other economic factors. But because we have so many more roads, we do get a decent amount of Chapter 90. It's just not adequate for today's costs. In the city, the budget in the city is in bad shape, so we can't set aside $5 million a year. We'd like to, but we can't.
It'd be great if all that excise tax that we just got bills last week went towards all that.
Yeah, it doesn't anymore. It goes to general fund. But, we need dams replaced that are millions of dollars. We need roads replaced. We need sidewalks. We want a new school. We want a new police station, I guess, now. I don't know where they think all this money's coming from. We just
And they
signed
don't
labor
want taxes to go
No,
up.
right. We
Yeah,
just signed labor
you're right.
contracts that are going to cost us $10 million a year by the third year. Yet they just told people we can't fix the roads. We have enough to come up with $10 million a year to pay employees more, which every employee deserves to be paid adequately. I get that, but you can't defer maintenance on everything forever. It's just not a good thing.
In a private business, if my costs are starting to overrun me, I have to make changes, and unfortunately, that might affect my personnel.
Yeah.
In order to make my bottom line.
Yeah. No, it's just the way it is. And so, when you drive over potholes and wonder why they're not being fixed, it's because of the cost of labor in the city budget is very high. And everybody, like I said, they deserve to get paid a decent wage to do their job. But we don't have enough money to do everything we can. So you have to juggle. And you can't defer maintenance on buildings and roads and sewers and, water forever. The dams, we've known about these dam problems can I say that word on the radio?
You just did.
Okay.
Dam problems.
Good.
That's
You can't
true.
say, you
That's
can't
true.
defer these things for 20, 30, 40 years. You got to fix them. Because if those things break, the downside is very, very big.
Now is it the Armbrook one we're trying to repair now?
Powder mill.
Powder
right?
mill.
No, Armbrook is first, Powder Mill second.
Oh, okay.
The one with the
They
dog
were
park.
just looking at Powder Mill.
Actually, they're both
right?
in progress.
They're both
right
in
now.
progress, but the one with
I've
the
been-
dog park is going to be the first one.
Flood Control Commission has been holding hearings on both of them.
Yep.
And we've been recording them because the federal government needs record of the meeting too.
And that's why I was thinking Powder Mill, because that was the last one that was addressed, I think.
Right,
But a year ago we did one on the other one. on Armbrook.
It's just a year and a half behind. Yeah. And then there's also the levees.
Yeah, those are both earthen dams. So after when they go in, 75 years ago? 50s?
No, 60s.
No, Armbrook wasn't that old.
No, I think it's 50 years.
I think Armbrook was after the flood of 55, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was put in the early 60s.
Yeah.
I believe,
Okay.
And it was a park
Yeah,
there
so-
for a while. It was a city park, and it was a
They said it was a great beach for a long time.
Yeah.
There was a great pavilion that burned down.
My grandmother lived on Lockhouse Road, and I used to walk over to that park over there. And
They said there was a great pavilion that burned down.
Yeah, the
and it's
pavilion
went into
burned down,
disuse.
and then people started throwing glass and tires and stuff into the pond, and then destroyed it.
Yeah. So, but that needs millions of dollars. We're going to get a good portion of it from the federal government. But the city still has to kick in money. These school projects, even though we get 70%, we got to come up with the rest somehow. So I still have a negative outlook on the long-term finances. We're a few years away from hitting this levy ceiling. The property values have gone up last year, and they'll go up again this year. So they'll give us a little bit more time, but you're still looking at 3 to 5 years before we hit this levy ceiling. If the economy tanks, it could be a lot sooner. So.
Fingers crossed.
Yep.
All right.
I don't envy you your job.
Yeah.
I do not.
You know, we're talking about roads,
Mm-hmm.
and somehow we end up talking about those dams.
Those damn dams.
Those damn dams.
Damn dams.
Yeah. But I want to hit upon roads once again because, you know, we're talking about, you know, where's the money going to come from for a new school, new police department, this work on the dams? Where's the money going to come from for the road repair that we're up against, you know, in probably another month or so when the season starts back up? In driving around town, I haven't seen as much damage this time of year as last year, but there's still a substantial amount of roadways here in town that need major repair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And sidewalks.
How do we do it?
We only have a few $100,000 in the budget.
Mhm.
We get a neighborhood of $1.2 million from the state, and we have a few $100,000 extra in our budget. You know, the council raised taxes on meals and hotels with the promise that those monies would be added to the spending we already do in the city for roads, and that just hasn't happened, you know, historically. It did happen last year because there was a lot of work done all at once, but it hasn't happened historically. We want to earmark that money so it's always available. It doesn't go into general fund.
Wasn't a special account supposed to be set up for that, or was that being talked about?
Yes.
Okay.
We set up an account. There's no money in it.
All right.
So I believe it was last year we voted to set up the account with the hope that we would get that money put in there. The mayor at the time didn't want to do it. The law department opined that it was the mayor's right to decide that or not. The state has told us that no, the city council has the right, but our law department sided with the mayor. So, and other cities, by the way, have it so that their city council does it. But, you know, it's one of those questionable items. There's no law that's been run through a court to determine that.
Going to look at it again this year?
Yeah, but the council is not favorable right now. They
Right.
don't want to earmark money. They want everything in general fund.
Right. So, well, you can take general funds to work on the roads, correct?
Not when you spent all the money.
Right. All right.
So in June, we vote on the appropriations that the mayor requests, and that kind of locks in the budget for the year. And, you know, for the last many years, we've spent every single nickel. There's like $100,000 reserved for, you know, emergencies, and that's about it.
So there are a few crumbs here and there, and that's about it.
Yep. 100,000, you know, doesn't do much.
100,000 does what? Maybe 200 feet of road, or
I don't know, but I know it's not significant. Yeah.
All right, 9:42. Hey, Pete, let me do my last break, and we'll figure out what direction we're going into right after that.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Comcast and Xfinity.com, offering Xfinity TV, internet, home phone, and home security services. Information on all that Xfinity has to offer in the Westfield area is available online at Xfinity.com.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Join me, Tina Gorman, each week from 6 to 8 a.m. for Wake Up Wednesday, when my guests and I discuss health, wellness, and lifestyle reimagined.
Community Radio 89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
9:44 on the nose. I told you we were going to hit it.
First time today. We're good.
No, it was the second time, but Pete was talking over me the last time I did that. He has a habit of doing that.
I know.
and he's giving me the old thing through the control room window. Back here with Dave Flaherty. Another big elephant in the room in the city of Westfield, outside of the roads and the taxes, is the water.
Yep.
Where are we standing with the water right now? Last I knew, we got several million from the government.
Not several, but yeah, we had
1.7 or 1.8, something like that.
No, lower, but yeah, we got a big check that went into a reserve account. It can only be used for water purposes, water cleanup purposes, and water system purposes. Right now, it's not being spent. It's sitting there waiting for determinations of how it can be best spent.
Okay.
But it's not going to roads and schools and pickleball courts or any of that stuff.
But we have a new tank that we're dealing with on East Hampton Road.
Mountain Road.
East Mountain Road. And we still have wells that we need to clean up. That money could be used for that, right?
It can be, but they have to do it legally, so the people are doing the research to figure that out. We've given bond approvals for most of this work, so there was just under $20 million worth of bonds approved. They haven't spent all that money yet, but they have the authorization to. There might be a way to use that $1.2 million to reduce the need for bonds, but they have to make sure they do it the right way. But it's all going to wash out in the end. The money is not going to go to any special projects other than water.
Right, and there's still some ongoing litigation involved in this too, so there could be a lot more funds coming in down the road. Could
be, yeah.
Yeah. Where are we at with 7 and 8? Do you know?
I believe they're supposed to be on soon. There was a building problem earlier in the year. I heard they're passing the tests and they're doing, what they're supposed to get those things ready. But my last understanding was there was a building issue, like a construction building issue. So there are rumors out there that they're spitting out polluted water and stuff like that. As far as I know, that's not accurate. The Water Commission and the DPW have told me that is not accurate, that, there's been, bad stuff.
And that includes, I think, is it number 2 that's up right now?
Number 2 is up. That's over near my house on Union Street, and that's been up for a while. It's a temporary situation. When you drive by it, you'll see it's got like a frame with a fabric shell. That once 7 and 8's on, I believe they're going to shut that down, and they're going to put a new facility in between 1 and 2. 1 is up near the old mayor's house, up off of Holyoke Road.
Sherwood.
Yeah, it's not on Sherwood, I don't believe, but it's
the other side of Holyoke Road.
Yeah, so it's on Holyoke. And the city water department owns a lot of land between those two places. So I believe it's supposed to be closer to number 1, where there's a flat open area that makes sense to put a building in. So I believe that's what they're going to do.
All right. It's been quite some time since sorry about that. Old school AOL, and I still have an AOL address too. Been a while since I've been down Union. How are the lights going down there? We're supposed to put some lights in at Union and Springdale.
Yeah, they're not there yet. There's pads in the ground for the the stands.
I saw some. They've been doing a lot of construction down there, and they've looked like they're changing the roadway a little bit to accommodate the light.
Yeah, they
because I travel that area a lot.
Yeah, I do too. They scraped some of the land. They moved back, a safety fence on the fence company there, or the steel things. I forget what you call those things. But
by the way, apologies for the background noise. They're running the perforator in the next room.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's moving along. It's winter season, so they can't do everything. But from what I can see, it looks like they're really, really getting close.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Probably like over on Route 22.
Yeah.
We're getting there with our lights over by the new gym. By Shred Stop.
One going in.
Oh yeah, I believe that's a summer project. So looking good.
Yeah, I know they've done work on the roadway there in preparation for all that to happen.
Are you like a regular gym goer? Am I gonna see you at Planet Fitness?
I'm there 3 times a day.
Yeah, eating lunch, that doesn't count. But it looks like a beautiful.
It does. It does.
I didn't do it. Yeah.
So other things going on around town, or even in the council coming up the next month or two. What are we going to be seeing?
Hopefully we have a new mayor. He's got a learning curve, by the way. So when he comes in a few weeks, ask him where he is. We asked for a budget schedule to be delivered to us on February 24th. We don't have that yet, so that I would imagine is coming tomorrow, Thursday's meeting. But we need to know what the budget cycle looks like for this year, because I have, plans again to do what's right, I think, for the people and stand up for budget cuts where they're needed to make sense for our long-term financial goals.
Another 9-hour meeting?
We have 9-hour meetings because we don't have a rule that says they have to end at 10:30 and people don't want to do the work ahead of time. The Finance Committee last year did not make any recommendations to the full City Council. That's like the primary job of the Finance Committee, is to prepare for the budget season. They didn't do that last year. So this year, I'm sure there's a new person chairing finance. We're going to get some recommendations on finance. My role is to look at the long-term, best interests of the city. And I think we're making some big mistakes. I think the public is excluded from knowing a lot of these things, and I'll do what I can to try to fix those things. I'm in a minority position as always, so we'll see how it all plays out. But I think it would help everybody, including the new mayor who hasn't done this before, to know what the schedule is. So when does he have to get all of them from departments? I know they're already flowing in. When does he have to make his first round of cuts? When does audit, review and approve, things to make sure we have enough money? When does the treasurer get involved? All the different committees, like the school committee, has to review and approve their budget. Then all that gets consolidated and comes to council, and then the council has to have some meetings. So we'd like to see that schedule well in advance, so we don't have the problems we had last year. The council is entitled to 45 days to review and approve a budget from when we get it, regardless of how close that is to the year end. So if we get that on June 28th, we can still take 45 days to do our job. There's absolutely no law that says we have to have that on July 1st. And last year we had problems with that, right, because we got it very, very late. The other thing is, last year I spent a lot of time with Department of Revenue getting opinions on procedures and laws and stuff like that. I gave all that stuff to council, and council kind of ignored it. And because I have lead time this year, I'm going to try to get all that stuff in writing. Last year there was some back and forth between our law department and DOR and the councilors, and our law department didn't back up what I had received from the state. The people who actually write the laws and do the training told us one thing, and our law department said, you don't have to worry about that. And other councils hop all over that because, our law department says we don't have to do this. Well, yes, you do.
Why are you such a stickler when it comes to the law here?
Because it changes the dynamics of voting. It changes the taxes for people. It changes people's understanding of it. It's not fair when you rush things through. Things don't get full deliberative process when you rush it through.
So there's no vindictiveness here at all. This is trying to do things the right way and better for the people, right?
Yeah. Yep. It's absolutely better for the people. The people are furious about their taxes, and everybody understands that costs go up. But you can't believe how many times I take crap about the pickleball courts. We only got 8 minutes, so I can't talk about that.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Every time I drive by them every week, I think of you too.
Yeah, and a lot of people do. Well, because it's a hot topic. When they drive over potholes, why they're looking at people playing pickleball, that infuriates people, right?
Yeah.
When we're asking for a new police station that, should have been maintained all along, and now we need another $10 million, $15 million building, what's going on? We need new school buildings. You know what? Harvard has buildings that have been around for centuries. They maintain them. It costs money every year to do it. And instead, these people choose not to do the maintenance, wait till the thing falls apart, and then need tens of millions of dollars worth of investment. So that kind of stuff infuriates me. You can't. Just recently, we had budget issues with the labor contracts. Nobody wanted to look at the total costs. We've asked for total costs for years. There's not one labor contract that comes through with a cost associated with it. Yet when I do the math and I say, okay, it's going to cost us $10 million in the third year, where do you think that money's coming from? People just look, well.
Yeah, I have to say just one thing, and it's partly in humor here. When you talk about how you get, pissed off about us not doing maintenance on things and keeping things up and taking care of the property we have, you do know exactly who you sound like at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and
right, Pete?
Dan?
Yeah.
No. And Dan and I agreed on a lot of things. I mean, he
I just that sounded just like him, though.
Yeah. when Dan took office, I spent some time with him, and we agreed on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
There were other things we didn't agree on, and there were certain things that happened that, made us have a little bit of animosity. But he is a great guy. He's got a great family. He's done wonderful things for the city, but he also did some things that pissed me off.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but
and I'm sure I aggravated him too.
And I'm a maintenance type person too.
Yeah.
I look at something and I say to myself, I better catch that before it becomes a problem.
Yeah. Oh, I'm doing it right now at our house. Our house is close to 25 years. We're looking at a roof. Right. We had leaks last year, so I had to fix the leaks.
Yeah.
Didn't really want to. But you have to
Yeah,
protect the rest of the house.
I don't want to put $20,000 on a roof.
Right.
But
And the same with schools, right? How long has that school gymnasium roof leaked before they went and fixed it? Crazy. The police station has water issues. And they've had water issues for 20-something years. Well, fix it.
I just put $550 in tires on my car just yesterday morning.
Yeah.
I didn't want to buy $550 worth of tires.
Yeah, nobody does. And I can tell you.
But if I didn't, I'd go off the road on the highway eventually.
So last year at budget time, by the way, this is something you should do some research on, is the school budget came in and there was money in there to repave sidewalks and parking lots and do other maintenance stuff. And when it came down to it, we asked about, well, how are you going to pay for these new contracts? Because they told us the budget that was presented to us was using the previous contracts numbers in it. So we asked them, well, how are you going to pay for these new contracts? Oh, well, we're just going to not do those maintenance jobs.
Mm-hmm.
That's on the record by the superintendent. Superintendent in writing in the newspaper, too. Says, oh, we'll pay for them by not doing maintenance. Well, that's not the right thing to do. It really isn't. You should do the maintenance, and if then you have the money to pay for employee raises, do that, or adjust your staffing somehow to do that, or get more money from somewhere to do that. But to defer maintenance until we have to spend tens of millions of dollars is not the right thing.
I've got about a minute left for you if there's anything else that you want to get out and say. The bottle and can.
Bottle and can.
Bottle and can.
Yeah.
Pete, bottle and can.
One more
Bottle and can graphic, sure. So Saturday.
He's talking to other people.
All right. We got 4 minutes, it says on that clock.
Bottle and can graphic.
All right. So Boy Scout Bottle and Can Drive. Let's try to get 70,000 bottles and cans for the Scouts. I'll be out there grabbing cans out of cars.
There we go.
And helping. We hope to get 60 to 70,000 bottles and cans one day, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. right out in front of Super Phipps. Thanks to Super Phipps, by the way. Thanks to Dunkin' Donuts for giving us some food. Thanks to Stop and Shop for helping us with some pizza. Big Buy for helping us with pizza. Stop and Shop for doing other donations. Great group of people on the council have donated to match a penny per can. So, by the way, we get more than 5 cents per can. We're now like 7.5, 8 cents per can because of generous sponsorships from current and former councils who don't all want to be identified, so I don't want to say their names. But
fair enough.
They're doing that. We have some local businesses in town that have matched a penny per can. Furton Adams, I guess they don't care. Furton Adams has matched a penny per can.
You're talking about one of those counselors there, perhaps.
Well, he's a counselor, but he's also a business owner. But the business,
it's a business.
He's matching a penny per
business.
can. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so
Nice.
it's worked out very, very well. It's a great thing for the Scouts. It's a
allows them to go camping.
The extra pennies all go to what we call camperships, which help people pay the bills for weekend camping trips, summer camp, and high adventures. And these are families that just can't afford those kind of things sometimes. So $20 to $50 weekends or $400 summer camps sometimes is out of people's budgets. So the campership money goes to help.
If that was around when I was a child, perhaps my idea of camping wouldn't be Holiday Inn or Winnebago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dave Flaherty, I want to thank you for coming in this morning.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me. Anytime, I'll come over. My office is right down the street. So.
All right. It's always a pleasure having you in. Next week, Hope Tremblay from the Westfield News will be in. 2 weeks from now, Chef John Flaherty.
An Eagle Scout.
Okay. Really?
Yes.
All right. We're going to have to, Kathy, it's up to you to remember that.
I will remember.
3 weeks from now, there's something I want to do, and I'm working on it, but I'm having a hard time having everything come together. Involves the election at the end of the month, but I can't say anything because I'm not sure if it's going to happen. And then 4 weeks from now, the last Tuesday of March, I will have Mayor Don Humison in here. He asked to come on. He wants to take some questions, so we'll open up our phone line, and we'll hear what Don has to say after his first several months in as mayor of the city of Westfield. That is all the time I have.
Well, get out there and vote today. Today's a big election day.
Get out and vote for Bill Weld, right? That's all the time I have. I'll catch you next week.
All right, thank you.